Hi, this is Vanessa Davis and welcome to the SKULLTRESS channel. So today I'll be sharing with you a series of time lapses of my koi fish bubble skull makeup. So I should just explain to you where I got the inspiration for this. I was leafing through my Mega Mundan tattoo colouring book and I came across these koi fish that you see me paint drawing. And I was so inspired by them. I thought they were so beautiful, and they've been depicted so many times in art that I was inspired to incorporate a skull makeup in there somehow. So this is the stage where I'm drawing in all the scales of the first fish. I should really note that in order to arrive at this result here, it took about 3 tries, three erasings of fish to get the composition right. It was extremely difficult, and I have tremendous respect now for tattoo artists because getting composition and size right of animals on the body is incredibly difficult. So completing the rough sketch, as you can see on the second fish, I tend to always go in, sketch my face arts, body arts out first using a MAC mechanical eyebrow pencil called Stud, but I ran out of those. I got through about 3 of them, so I had to rely on my L'Oreal mechanical eyeliner pencil there. As you can see, I'm drawing out the scales for the second fish, and this took a lot of patience, but I find this stage is the most therapeutic and probably the most creative, mapping down the image. I treat the skin exactly as you would a canvas. I rarely go in for the kill with paint and brush. I usually need to draw it first. And as you can see, the tail there creeps onto the neck. And then just drawing the little whiskers and just the end of the tail there. So next was drawing the bubbles onto the face. So the idea was that the bubbles coming out of the koi fish would then bubble onto the face in a composition of a skull, and I chose the larger bubbles to represent the planes of the face, like the cheekbone, and the smaller bubbles to represent the teeth, and the negative space there is just with the hollows of the skull and the jaw. I chose a half skull for this. So then painting in the koi fish, I chose the first fish to be white with orange and patches of black. As you can see, I'm painting in the scales. I tend to jump around a lot with my face arts. When I get bored of one area, I move on to another and then jump back again, just to keep it interesting, because this makeup did take me quite a long time. It was about 8 hours in all, with rubbing out the other fish. So there I am, painting in the scales. So the makeup that I used for this was chameleon face paints. I really like their pigments. They come out really opaque. You could use a white eyeliner or black eyeliner or liquid eyeliners, but I find that the face paints tend to come out a lot truer. The opacity is very good, and they tend to photograph very well. Even the white is a good contrast to the skin there. So moving on, we're painting the black scales. It required a bit more patience because in order to avoid this area, this sort of darker pigmentation of the fish appearing just like a big black blob, I painted within the shape of the scale, allowing the sort of borderline edge where I drew the scale to act as a kind of definition there, just as a kind of as you can see, just the spaces there to stop it looking like a big mass. So that required a little bit more care and a little bit more patience. So as I mentioned in my intro, this is a series of time lapses. A little mention about the The brushes I just use some fine brushes from an art shop. They're a couple of quid, a couple of dollars. You don't need to spend a lot of them. Save your really nice brushes. Use the arty ones. So the next step was painting in the tail and just finishing off the markings for the first fish. And some little white highlights there next to the fin. So moving on next to the second fish, I chose vibrant red with some black markings and some white highlights. Now I'm painting in the black scales, the black patchy markings into the second koi fish. I should probably note, if you've come this far into the video, that this is in fact my first ever edited tutorial on YouTube. I should let you know that I'm incredibly low tech, so this for me is a huge leap of technological advancement. So thanks for your patience. So there I am, continuing. There's with the white on the head and the little whiskers there. I found the shape of the koi fish to tend to be wider around about the shoulders where the fins are, and the head sort of shapes into a bit of a point. And then it's quite a strong body that then curves. It's quite a muscular looking fish. And as I paint towards the end of the tail, just for that perspective, I start painting some smaller scales there. As you can see, there's a bit of neck strain. Doesn't seem like much because it's a time-lapse video, but I did get a bit of a crook in my neck at one point from having to look around. But I thought the composition looked nice with the end of that fin onto the neck. So then I went in using some eyebrow gel, had a good blending softness there into the fins and the tail of the darker fish. And now that one's almost complete, painting into the bubbles of the face using the white chameleon face paint, and then filling in the negative space in between the teeth, or the bubble teeth as it were. Just really gives it that skull-like definition. I originally painted the whole nose, but then decided to go for a half nose. And this is the finished result. I then collaborated with Chris McDaniel at The Glitch, and he created this wonderful digital effect.